Hello BookTube, hello friends, welcome to LizziefayeLovesBooks. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm not really dressed for a video, but this is a vlog, so I'm just going to go with it. I just finished filming the last segment of my week 2 reading vlog for March Mystery Madness, and it's Sunday evening, so I thought since I ended the week 2 with Saturday that I should go ahead and start filming what I read today, which is Sunday, March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day, and I've had a good reading day. I stayed home from church today. The girls and I have just been under the weather and burning the candle at both ends, so we took a true day of rest and didn't go anywhere this morning. And Randy did have to go to work, but now he's home from work, and him and Katie went to get some dinner. So I thought I would sit down and try to film a little bit while it's just Emily and myself here. So I started out early Sunday morning doing what I usually do every morning, and that's reading a chapter in the Bible and reading at least one of the devotions in my devotional book. I was a little bit late getting that done and starting my reading sprints for March Mystery Madness. You may recall that I lead some reading sprints on Sunday mornings, and for me it's 5 a.m. when I start, although today it was nearly 6 a.m. by the time I really got started. But most of the people who have joined me so far have been from the other side of the world, so for them it's already evening. So I have to remind myself that I don't need to tell them good morning because it's already nighttime for them. After I got my Bible reading done, I decided to read another Nate the Great book. I mentioned in my last vlog that I found the first Nate the Great book on Overdrive, and I uploaded it to my computer, and I read it late last night. And then this morning I picked up one of the two I have from the library. Book 12 is Nate the Great Goes Down in the Dumps. So I read this morning. This is such a good series. I wish I had known about these sooner. There's a lot of good teachable moments in these books, and Nate is very smart and observant, and he is such a good little detective. He even has a Sherlock Holmes hat and a trench coat, so I'm really enjoying these. I have another one checked out that I haven't read yet. I also checked out on Overdrive the audio of I think the first 4 or 5 books. So I'm going to listen to those on Overdrive and then also read this book. I think this is number 25 in the series, Nate the Great Talks Turkey. So probably by the time I do another update, I will have read either this one or I will have listened to some of the audiobooks. Because I think I'm going to focus this week on reading the middle grade mysteries and the mysteries that I have on hand for younger readers. I don't know if I'll read a Nancy Drew book this year, but also I have checked out from the library the audio of From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basily, Frank Weiler by E.L. Konigsberg. This will be a reread for me. Also a reread for me is Theodore Boone, Kid Lawyer, Book 3, which is The Accused by John Grisham. I don't remember anything about this one, so I decided to go ahead and reread number 3, and I've got number 4 checked out from the library as well. And I mentioned last week that I had found a series of YA mysteries on our bookmobile. This one is called The House, and the series is called Mason Falls Mysteries. So apparently there are 4 of these at this moment, and they are all written by different authors. So I am very interested. I don't think I've ever known about any YA mysteries that are specifically written for a YA audience, and they're less than 100 pages each. So at some point this week I want to get to this. So for my reading sprint this morning, after I finished Nate the Great, I decided to go ahead and pick up my TBR jar pick, which is Murder Under Blue Skies by Willard Scott and Bill Kreider. I started trying to read this last November, but I was really wanting to focus on the nonfiction November books that I had picked out, and so I read the first 3 chapters and then I laid it aside. So I thought now would be a good time to read it since it's March Mystery Madness. There's only 2 in the series. I've got both of them here in my TBR pile for the month. I'll be happy if I can at least just get one of them read. It's about a TV weatherman who has now opened a bed and breakfast. So they say write what you know, and I don't know if Willard Scott has ever opened a bed and breakfast, but of course he's a TV weatherman. And so this is so far really good. So this morning I reread or skimmed over the first 3 chapters again, just to refresh myself on how the book starts out. So this will be my main print book for the next few days. It's not very long. I think it is just a little over 200 pages, and hopefully I can zip through this pretty quickly, because we're halfway through the month and I've still got a lot of books on my March Mystery Madness TBR. Then on audio, I purchased with one of my Audible credits quite a while back The Catcher Was a Spy by Nicholas Dawidoff. And this is our book club selection for April for my regular library book club. And because we only have 1 print copy in our whole library system, I wanted to go ahead and get this read early. And I did purchase it on audio, but I wanted to look at the pictures and just kind of see it in print first. So you may not see the actual physical book again after this, because I do want to get it back to the library for another book club member to have. I think they have already ordered some more copies through interlibrary loan, but I don't know if there's going to be enough for all the book club members. So my goal is to finish this before next week's book club, even though I'm not going to get to go to book club next week because Katie's color guard competition is on Thursday during the same time that book club is meeting. So I'm of course going to go to my daughter's competition as opposed to book club, but I want to get this done before then, like I said, so I can pass it on to someone else. So on audio, it's not quite 12 hours long. So my goal is to listen to 3 to 4 hours per day and be done with it by Wednesday. So I have listened to almost 3 hours of this so far today. I put it down because my phone needed charging, and I have a different audiobook downloaded to my Kindle. So I listened to it, and then I went to editing my videos. So hopefully today I'll be able to get back to this, but I'm close enough to 3 hours that I can make up the difference tomorrow if I don't get back to it today. So while my phone was charging, I picked up the audiobook that I have downloaded to my Kindle, which is The Whole Cat and Caboodle by Sophie Ryan. And I listened to a good bit of this today. I'm almost to the halfway point, not quite. So it's been very good. It's about a woman who has a secondhand shop, and she's got a great cat, and now there's been a murder, and a good friend of hers was sitting right next to the body. So she's got to try to help her friend, and so far I am really enjoying it. This is for Courtney and Angela's Cozy Mystery Book Club. So that is what I've read today. As I mentioned, I think my focus for this week is mostly going to be on books for younger readers. So that is it for this update. I'll see you soon.
Hello everyone. Today is Wednesday and it is late afternoon. It's like almost 5:30, and behind me is the public library. I am about to run in and help quickly set up for the book sale, which is tomorrow. They were starting at 5, but I am late getting here. Story of my life. I had to vacuum out my car because I realized I'm transporting kids tomorrow after color guard competition, and because of color guard competition I can't even go to the book sale. So I wanted to run up here, help finish setting up, and then maybe I can shop and see what they have since I can't come to the sale. In fact, tomorrow is library book club in the afternoon. I'm not going to be able to come to that either. And it's also Book Bowl at Katie's former middle school, the one I've been preparing for all year. I did write questions for all the books and listed all the foods, which I typed up and took to the librarian a few weeks ago. And then I took her some more display items today and all the book prizes that I've been collecting. So they'll just have to do it without me because your kids come first. So I'm going to go to Katie's color guard competition tomorrow and enjoy that. So quickly before I go in, I have finished 2 books today, and I've got to turn one of them in. Well, I have technically 20 minutes left on audio of this one. The Catcher Was a Spy by Nicholas Dawidoff, and this is about the mysterious life of Mo Berg, who was a spy, supposedly, and a baseball player. You'll have to read it to find out. It's a very interesting book. He did work for the OSS, and then when it changed, I guess then when it went away and it became the CIA, I don't think he ever worked for the CIA, but he was a very interesting individual, very eccentric. They never said it in the book, but I would almost say he was probably bordering on some type of OCD or autism, maybe. He led a very interesting life. So if you think that's something that you would enjoy reading, I would recommend it. It's nothing I would have picked up if we hadn't been reading it for book club. And so now I'm going to turn it back in because tomorrow is book club, and tomorrow we're discussing The Wonder by Emma Donoghue, which I already mentioned in last week's vlog, and they're going to discuss this one next month, so I'll be able to get in on the discussion hopefully. But there's very few copies, and since I'm finished with this, I'm going to go ahead and turn it in so that tomorrow someone can take it home to read to prepare for next month. And then the other book I finished was The Whole Cat and Caboodle. It was really cute. I talked a little bit about it in last week's vlog because I had already started it, and there's not really much more that I can say without spoilers, but it was a very cute book, and definitely if you are a cozy mystery fan and you like mysteries that have cats in them, then this is a book that you might want to pick up and check out. So that's it for now. I will talk to you again soon.
Hello again. I'm in my backyard this afternoon. It is Friday afternoon, March 22nd. Katie's color guard competition went great yesterday. She did drop her rifle once near the end, but she still got a superior on her performance, which was awesome, and her team got superior on their performance. So it was an awesome day, and even my husband called into work and went, and we even took Emily with us and let her miss a day of school to go and see it. It was the state competition, and we are just super excited. So next weekend they have the state FFCC competition, and so that's an even bigger deal, I think. So we're excited about that. So now today I have spent most of the day editing my February wrap-up finally, and I'm about to go and upload that. But I thought while it was such a nice day outside, I thought I would just come out and film a minute and let you know about the 2 books that I finished yesterday and what I've started today. So yesterday on audio I finished Theodore Boone, The Accused by John Grisham. This is book 3 in the Theodore Boone Kid Lawyer series. I really have enjoyed this series, and I think I had listened to this before, but I didn't really have any memory of what happened in the book, and I've been wanting to pick back up with this series, and I did have some pretty good recollections of books 1 and 2, so I thought I'd just go ahead and start with book 3 and then move on into book 4, which I started today. So book 3 was great. This whole series is just really good for kids especially, and for really anyone who's interested in basic law and what it's like to be a lawyer, because Theodore is not an actual lawyer, but his parents are both lawyers, and so you get to see a lot of what goes on in the legal world, and I just think it's a really good series. Also, Theodore is a Boy Scout, and so in this particular book we learn a little bit about scouting, and I just thought that was a really good thing to bring in. The author uses a lot of the things in the book as teachable moments, and I think he does it in a very light way so that it's not so overbearing. I think a kid wouldn't necessarily realize that they're learning something by reading this. As an adult, it's pretty basic, but I'm not the target audience for this book, and I thought it was really good. So I started the 4th book this morning. It is called Theodore Boone, The Activist. Also yesterday, I finished Bowled Over by Victoria Hamilton. I'll put up a better picture than that. I do not know where the print copy of the book is. I don't own it. I checked it out from the library about a month ago, and it disappeared the day I brought it into my house. It must have gotten put with some books that I don't have space for on my shelves, or maybe with the books that I'm about to haul, because I haven't filmed a book haul in I don't know when, and I've got to do that as soon as possible. But I don't know where the book is, and I've got about 2 more weeks before it's gonna not be able to be renewed again, and I really need to find it, otherwise I'm gonna be paying some fines and possibly paying for the book. Anyway, it was a cute book. I have read the first one. This is book 2 in the Vintage Kitchen Mystery series. There was a lot going on in this book, a lot of different relationships, and there was some marital infidelity, and I was trying to keep everything straight, and there was a murder, and so that was one of the possibilities of the motive, and there was just a lot going on. I would suggest, though, that you don't read the description on Goodreads, because I felt like there were some spoilers there that I would have rather gotten just from reading it. There were some things that it mentions in the Goodreads description that don't take place until about 20% into the book, and I accidentally looked at it before some of those things happened. So I was a little disappointed in that. So if you don't like spoilers at all, don't read the Goodreads description for that particular book. I think the series is going to be really good. I love kitchen things and vintage things, and so vintage and kitchen put together I think is great. I enjoyed the book. There was a little bit of swearing, not over the top at all, but it was there. I noticed it. And also just a little bit of sex talk that I didn't think was necessary. The main thing I recall was the main character, and I believe it was her sister. They were just having a short conversation about whether one of them was a virgin or not. I don't know. It just wasn't necessary in this particular book, I didn't think. A lot of people probably wouldn't even bat an eye about it. So those were the two books that I finished yesterday: Bowled Over by Victoria Hamilton and Theodore Boone, The Accused by John Grisham. And then today, in addition to starting Theodore Boone Book 4, I also picked up the annotated copy of Pride and Prejudice. This is a library book I checked out a few days ago, and I at first was just going to listen to Pride and Prejudice on audio and then come here and read through the notes. However, it's hard to read through the notes without reading the text because you have to kind of know what the notes are referring to. And the notes are much longer than the actual text. So I think if I'm going to read this whole thing, it's going to take me a little while longer. I'm already on chapter 12 of the audiobook, and I've only read 2 chapters in the print book. So I went ahead and listed them separately on Goodreads because I will finish the audio during this month. And then I think if it keeps my interest, I will go ahead and just continue working my way through this, maybe a couple of chapters a day. The chapters are very short in this book, and I think that I will plan on doing that for the time being and see how it goes. Then in my car, I barely started this today. This is The Cat Who Brought Down the House by Lillian Jackson Braun, and there was a person on my CD set that introduces the book, and she pronounced it Lillian Jackson Brown. I am almost positive I've always heard it Lillian Jackson Braun, but I'm going to look into that because, you know, I always like to look into correct pronunciations of authors' names. I hope I haven't been saying it wrong all these years. I mean, I see that it could be Brown, but I still think it's Braun. Anyway, this is book 25 in the Cat Who series, and since Who is one of the buzzwords for the Buzzwordathon, I thought I would listen to this week, and I have it on CD from the library in my car right now. I have a book club to go to tonight. It's the new one that was started last month by a couple of my friends from church, and the book that we are discussing tonight is The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I've already talked about it. I read it in late February. So that's all for now. I will talk to you again soon.
Hello again. It is Sunday morning and I'm dressed for church. In fact, I'm in the car in front of church. I got here early because I usually come early for music practice. I sing in the worship team, and I had forgotten that we have special musicians today. So Emily and I went on downstairs and ate a bite of breakfast and then came back to the car because we're going to run back to the house. Randy starts his vacation today. He usually takes off the week of spring break so that if we all want to go anywhere as a family while the girls are out of school, we can. Although this year for spring break, the first part of the week, we've got some appointments and then a trip to Daytona later in the week for Katie's color guard competition. And I don't think we're going to stay overnight because during spring break, Daytona is crazy, and I doubt we could get any place to stay or any campsite or anything. So we're just going to go and come in one day. So I have been doing some bookish activities since my last update on Friday. I did not film anything yesterday for this vlog, although I filmed I think 5 different book haul videos, and so I will be excited to get those uploaded. I filmed a mystery one, which hopefully it may go up before this one. I wanted to show you all the cozy mysteries that I have accumulated in the last couple of months. Hopefully by the end of the month I will have uploaded my middle grade book haul as well, since it's middle grade March. And then I will have 4 other book haul videos coming up in the month of April, just because I have accumulated so many books in the last few months, which is not unheard of for me at all. But I haven't filmed anything in a while, and I've been to several library book sales. And while I've been traveling around the state for Katie's Color Guard competitions, I always check to see if there's a used bookstore or a library or a thrift store or anything in the area. So the books have been trickling in through those avenues. So anyway, be looking for all of those book hauls coming up. And I'm excited to tell you that I've been contacted by 2 different publishing reps wanting to send me ARCs. And I don't always accept ARCs when people contact me, but usually it's individual authors who want to send me their book. And I have reviewed a few books that way, but I have such a backlist of books that I want to read that I don't take everything that is offered to me. However, these are 2 pretty big publishers, and one of them publishes mysteries, so we might be able to work out some kind of deal for March Mystery Madness for next year and have some sponsored giveaways, which would be super exciting. So I will be talking more about that in future videos. But for now, I wanted to tell you about the books I have finished recently. I finished an audiobook yesterday. It was Dying in the Wool by Frances Brody. It's the first book in the Kate Shackleton series. I didn't realize that it was a historical series, and I guess if I had looked closely at the covers, I would have seen that the clothing on the covers was historical, but I wasn't really thinking about that. Kate Shackleton is a photographer and also, I believe, the widow of a doctor, if I am not mistaken. Even though this was the first book, her backstory is that she has helped people in the past to locate people who are missing. So a friend of hers from the war has asked her if she will find her father, because this particular friend is getting married soon and she really wants her father to walk her down the aisle. So she offers her money, and Kate up to this point has not really thought about being a private investigator as a profession, and so this is her first professional case, and it's very good. This particular book had a good bit of scandal in it and a couple of racy, steamy scenes, but that was all part of the mystery and the motive and all of that. And I did enjoy the book overall. I listened to almost all of it yesterday. I had listened to just a little bit of it the day before on Friday, enough to start it. And then when I got up yesterday, I participated with Alicia, the Pretty Brown Eye Reader, for just a little bit with her sprints, and I was listening to Bluebird Bluebird by Attica Locke, and I even commented to her that I was probably going to go ahead and plow through that during the rest of Saturday. But after I got done with that sprint, I just really was in the mood to go back to Dying in the Wool, and so that's what I did, and I ended up finishing it late last night. So today I'll probably go back to Bluebird Bluebird. But this morning I led my own sprints on Twitter, and I decided to read something completely different that I had not started, and it was a very short YA mystery. It's part of the Mason Falls mystery series called The House by Raylan Drake. And I found this on the Bookmobile not too long ago. It was labeled YA, and after reading it, I really think it's mislabeled. I really think it ought to be labeled middle grade. It's very short, and the kids who were in the story were 9th graders, which I guess technically would be YA, but it was a very short book, and it really just felt like a middle grade story. In fact, even older elementary students could read it, and it was cute. It was a ghost story, and I really enjoyed it, and it was just under 100 pages. So I started my sprint, and I read my Bible chapter that I usually do first thing every morning, and my devotional, and then I went right into that book, and I finished it up at about 7:23, which my sprints were technically supposed to end at 7, but I was so close to the end, I just kept reading it and finished it up, and then wrapped up my sprints, and that made my 19th book that I have finished so far for March Mystery Madness. I currently still have 8 other books that I've started that are in various percentages of being done, and I am excited about everything that I'm reading for March Mystery Madness. Here in my car, I started yesterday The Cat Who Brought Down the House by Lillian Jackson Braun. This is book 25, I believe, and we're getting close to the end of the series. It'll be exciting to say that I'm done with the series, but it'll be kind of sad because these are a lot of fun. Of course, I can always reread or re-listen anytime I get in the mood to. So I guess that's all I have for now, and I will be back soon with another update, and we'll probably try to wrap this up today or tomorrow, and hopefully you'll see it very soon. So that's all for now. Hello everyone. I should have just gone ahead and wrapped this up when I did that last segment on Sunday, because now it's already Wednesday and I'm still reading. I'm still doing great. It's just busy and it's spring break right now for us. My husband's also home and it's hard to find time to film. I have finished a few books since Sunday, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, and then I will start a new vlog to tell you about what I have reading for the last week of March Mystery Madness. So I'm late for a dentist appointment. I just wanted to go ahead and film this before I go in there, because I might not be able to film immediately after getting done at the dentist. So that's all for now. I will see you soon, hopefully with my book haul, and I hope you're having a fun last week of March Mystery Madness. Have a great day, read a good book, and God bless you.